welcome back everybody. I thought we'd go on a little adventure considering how beautiful today is. And so on today's adventure, I would like to go ahead and explore Dirty Harry's Peak, which is located in the Olallie State Park, located in the state of Washington. So before we begin, if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and continue to support me on these awesome adventures. And so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the hike. So Dirty Harry's Peak is located just about 45 minutes away from Seattle, off of the, I believe, the 38 exit off of the I-90 freeway. One of the things that I always like to do with my hikes is the fact that I like to go later on during the daytime. So I arrived at the parking lot at around 12:30, and by then there were a couple of spots that were pretty much open along the highway road. You're most likely gonna have to park along the freeway, considering the fact that the main parking lot would most likely be full. So make sure you have your Discover Pass as good fashion. You don't want to risk getting a ticket, right? So as far as equipment is concerned, I made sure to do my due diligence and make sure to research a little bit about the hike. And I did end up bringing my snowshoes just in case I needed them. But in fact, it turned out that you don't really need your snowshoes. So if you have a good pair of Microspikes or the Yak Tracks, that is more than sufficient enough. I pretty much hiked all the way up here just with my sweater, but I ended up getting a little bit colder as we started making our way up towards the peak. I had to go ahead and put my wind jacket on just to kind of keep myself from the cold. So there are actually two parts in regard to Dirty Harry's Peak. So the first part is Dirty Harry's Balcony, which is about 2 miles from the parking lot, which is about a 1,300 foot elevation gain. Now, of course, like the good old fashioned with my hikes, we always make it to the top, right? You don't stop till you get to the top. That was cheesy, I know. But if you want to, for those of you who are considering venturing out further, Dirty Heat's Peak Trailhead is about a 9.2 mile round trip hike with about a 3,300 foot elevation gain. So let's kind of talk a little bit about what makes this hike so spectacular. Now, I know the name Dirty may sound dirty. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. The hike is actually very, very beautiful. So like good old-fashioned Seattle hiking trails, you're always hiking within the evergreen, thus providing a lot of good coverage from the sun. As you start going about 1 mile up towards the trailhead, you're gonna start coming along different things. So one of the cool features about Dirty Harry's trailhead is the fact that you could also come here to go rock climbing. So for those of you who like to enjoy bouldering, or I do believe, now granted, I didn't really see anybody rock climbing today, but there were some areas posted where you could actually go ahead and set up your rock climbing equipment. Granted, I don't really rock climb out in the public, but it's something that you guys can do if you guys are in the area interested in rock climbing or free climbing. Not sure about free climbing, but definitely belaying. They definitely have some of those. So as you continue to make your way up towards the trailhead, you're going to start noticing some lookout points. So make sure you take a couple of breaks just to get a good panoramic view of the Snoqualmie Mountains, the Mount Washington that are kind of across the freeway. And there's this one particular lookout point on the third lookout point. There's this fantastic, beautiful rock that I highly, highly recommend everyone just take a quick stop by, maybe have a little bit of a picnic and just relax. You guys definitely deserve that little bit of a break, because by the time you reach the third lookout point, you've gone about 1.6 miles. So if you go about 0.4 miles more, 0.5 miles more, you guys would have reached the first part, which is Dirty Harry's Balcony Lookout. Now, when I made my way towards Dirty Harry's Balcony Lookout, I was honestly a little bit disappointed, primarily because of the fact that it was super, super crowded. And the view itself was basically like looking at the other lookout points. So it didn't really provide any noticeable benefits to really going there. So I would highly recommend maybe on the way back down, assuming I'm not too tired, I'll go ahead and stop by Dirty Harry's Balcony again just to see what it looks like, particularly in the sunset. But all right, we're gonna finally go and make our way up towards the Dirty Harry's Peak. So as you start making your way up towards Dirty Harry's Peak trailhead, you're gonna start noticing the elevation gain. And now I know why it's called Dirty Harry, because it is grueling. So Dirty Harry's Balcony from the parking lot to the balcony point is about a 1,300 foot elevation gain. Now from the balcony all the way up to the summit of the peak, you're gonna go up about 2,200 to 2,300 of an elevation gain. And as you're making your way up towards the peak trailhead, about a half a mile up towards, you're gonna come across an awesome resting point, particularly because there's a log that's actually carved out to be made for like a bench. This was actually the spot where I took my first break because I actually just made my way all the way up until I hit this particular spot, and this was my first break. And I made sure to really enjoy it. Had a little bit of a coffee, had some water, had my protein bars, had a little bit of tangerine, just to really bask in this awesome weather that we're having today. But after that, the point of basically just constantly inclining up and up and up is just, it's no joke. It just keeps going up. But at some point, you're going to reach the summit, and once you do, you're going to get such a fantastic spot. So I ended up finding a really, really beautiful spot that's actually isolated from pretty much everybody, and it's just quiet. It's just literally me. And that's particularly why I like coming later in hikes, because of the fact that you kind of avoid the crowds, and you get to really enjoy just the peace and the nature and just the serenity and the tranquility of these hikes in Washington. I mean, if you just listen, granted, you kind of hear the freeway, but even then, it kind of sounds like the natural sounds of the wind just coming in. And it's just relaxing. It's just beautiful. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. And if you guys are obviously in the area in Seattle, in Bellevue, or just in Washington, state of Washington in general, make sure you guys actually check out Dirty Harry's trailhead. So I would consider checking out both the balcony, and if you guys are feeling more daring and feeling like, you know what, I can do this, definitely make your way up towards the peak trailhead. Granted, just a couple of things. I started at around 12:30, and I finally got to the summit at about 3:30. So it actually took me about 3 hours to get to the top, and it was worth it. It was worth it. It was dirty, very, very dirty. Just kidding, but it was very, very worth it. So thanks everybody for watching, and I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next adventure. All right, guys, take care.